Hey everybody, my name is Coree Nash. I'm a junior social work major from Gina, Louisiana.
And I'm Ebenezer Aggrey, a senior business administration major from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
And welcome to Burning Conversations, where we keep the flame alive with things you want to hear.
We've been burning to let you know what's going on campus, our communities, and the world, providing the truth, the real, and the spill. Here we have our special guest, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Claire Prymus. I'm president and founder of the Ben Johnson Educational Center.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us, Claire. The first question that I'd like to ask you is, who was Ben Johnson and how did he affect his community?
Okay, Ben Johnson was an entrepreneur. He was a man among men. Mm-hmm. He was a philanthropist. He was someone that gave back to this community. He started with $2, his business. He had a funeral home business years ago in the early 1900s. And he wanted to do something in terms of business, in terms of just building an empire, which he did. Mm-hmm. And through that empire of the funeral business, he was able to give back to his community.
Mm-hmm. And can you elaborate more on why he cared so much about the community, like the things that he saw in his community and how he felt like he can make it better?
Sure. Well, he was one of 10 children, mm-hmm. and he was born, like I said, in 1910, mm-hmm. and he saw poverty. He figured out a way to get out of poverty, mm-hmm. and through his travels, through his work, he wanted to give back to his community, not only just offering advice, but also housing. He was big on education because he was not a high school graduate. Mm-hmm. And so he knew the value of education. And so he was always, not only with people in the community, but his family. I'm his niece. Mm-hmm. And so he sent me to school at Grambling State University, mm-hmm. and just, really wanted me as well as the whole community to be better, to do better.
Mm-hmm. And why do you work at the Ben Johnson Educational Center? Why did you feel like it was your duty to kind of oversee and handle the whole operation?
Sure. Well, like I said, I am his niece, mm-hmm. and this is a legacy project for me because he had given so much to this community. I returned from California in 2003, mm-hmm. and I came back to care for him. But so he passed in 2005. And so there were a lot, because he was up in age, he was in his 90s then. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of business that in our community that was kind of dormant. Mm-hmm. And the facility that I manage now was a self-help shopping center. Mm-hmm. He named it that in the 70s. And it was a grocery store, a drugstore, a clothing store, a daycare, and a barbershop. Mm-hmm. And it was all Black owned. Mm-hmm. And so that's the self-help. We were helping ourselves with our business. But since that time, it had closed. So I returned and wanted to do a legacy project in his honor. And so we named it the Ben Johnson Educational Center. Mm-hmm. And we're doing the work.
Yes, indeed. I saw something in the Ben D. Johnson Educational Center just reminds me of what I saw in Nipsey Hussle before he passed. He was a person who kind of invested in his community as well, and he put a lot of work into trying to build up his community out of poverty with barbershops, other businesses, and so that was kind of like a hand in hand when I think of the Ben D. Johnson Educational Center. I think of people in places like that and the work that Nipsey is doing and the work that Ben D. Johnson is doing. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's just a great opportunity to just see something like that, especially in Natchitoches, yes. to help it rise and grow.
Yes,
I've been hearing a lot about Ben Johnson, the center. and everything. So I wanted to ask you, over your time, working there and taking over and things like that, what could be one of like your greatest success stories from it?
Oh, I have a few, but I want to. So what we do is workforce training, right? Mm-hmm. And so we are training people that are out of work, out of school. And this one day, this young lady, we started doing the training through the Legacy Cafe. Mm-hmm. And so I was in the cafe, and she just passed by, and she was like kind of, downtrodden, back bent. And I said, hey, let me tell you about the program. And so, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to do that. Da, da, da. So we convinced her to do it. And as the weeks went along in the program, you could just see her confidence growing and her back straightening. Mm-hmm. And she not only graduated from the program, but she went on to get gainful employment. And one day she came by and she said, hey, Miss Claire, I want to show you something. She said, got my first car. Mm-hmm. So she bought her first car. And that I never will forget that story. That's one of, and there are many others, but that's the one that I'm just thinking about right now that was very special.
Well, you say that. So I used to work at a place called St. Mary's Residential for it's basically for autistic and behavioral kids and adults. And so they do trainings, and we have this binder where we certain people have to take out the trash. We show them how to do that. Mm-hmm. Certain people have to put clothes up. Basically just training them to be able to live in the real world, but they don't really leave. They just stay there. Mm-hmm. And me just working there for a whole year and watching them basically grow from the time once I was there, and then me getting ready to leave and see how different they are now, able to do stuff without you telling them and everything. Right. So I understand that story. Yes. I'm a social work major too. Okay. So I know I have clients that I work with, trying to help them be able to change into a person that they want to be into. Mm-hmm. So getting to see that, that's good.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's the seeing the progression and growth in people. That's what it's all about, especially when you're working in a nonprofit field. It's just being able to affect the community positively.
Yes. And your community.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Your community. Mm-hmm. Right, exactly, exactly.
Talking about community, so it's Black History Month, and I often think about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then just how Black businesses were booming and just the great how progressive it was. Mm-hmm. And so talking about that, the Black community, and trying to get back to Black Wall Street and even go beyond that. Mm-hmm. What are the necessary steps do you think are needed in order to create progression?
First and foremost is education. Mm-hmm. Secondly is opportunity. And with that goes the belief in yourself. Mm-hmm. If I have not seen it, it's hard for me to believe it. Representation. And so we have to represent as best we can as a community, as a people, and, not only represent, but look behind you and bring somebody up with you. Mm-hmm. And that, means that I can get this job. I can get this house. I can get this account. Let me show you how to do it. Mm-hmm. And so we can't, community means all of us. Mm-hmm. And I believe that we are as weak as our weakest link. And so we always have to look behind us, look beside us, and grab a buddy, grab a neighbor, and say, come on, let's go.
Mm-hmm. I love how you said that. And when talking about Black businesses and helping the community and lifting each other up, you oversee and are a part of some businesses. What is some advice you give to those starting out?
Starting out, you mean in work or starting out where?
Yeah, work, force, corporate, or just entrepreneurs in general?
Okay. So learn as much as you can. Always ask questions. Always ask questions. Don't think you have the answer starting out, because you don't. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to, educate myself. And so cross-reference everything that you can in terms of your job or in terms of your objectives. Like, I want to know about marketing. I want to know about social work. So if I can be not everything, but I want to know as much as I can so that I can move forward in terms of because in entrepreneurship, you kind of have to know everything. Yes. You can't be in a silo. Right. Yeah.
You just got to keep learning.
How do I do that budget? Am I going to be able to stay in business next week, next month? So it's important. That's my one thing that I would tell entrepreneurs: just learn as much as you can about everything that you can.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
That's
indeed.
good. So I know our younger people, we're more, I don't know how to say this because I don't want it to sound the wrong way, but I'll say like this: we have the more flexible time to volunteer. So, can you tell like the importance of volunteering, for younger people in the community?
So, you may not get paid because you're volunteering, but you're gaining knowledge, you're gaining experience. And so, and it feels good. It feels good to give back to a community, to a nonprofit. It pays you here, right? It pays you in the heart, but it also stimulates you here in the brain. So I believe in volunteerism because I know that it's worth it in terms of experience, in terms of your growth, and in terms of your heart.
I know. So I volunteered for the Legacy Garden before. I did it like 3 times now. That's where I first met you at.
When you coming back? I
said flexible time, and I'm really trying to get it there, but I'll be back. I really am going to be back. I had a fun experience. It was, I think after I did it the first time, I was telling a whole bunch of people, like, it was like a good mental health, like, basically like working on your mental health just out there and just... It like outside. I wore the wrong outfit that day, but
you were kind of clean that day.
I had a polo on, American Eagle jeans, Sperry's on.
Yes,
but they helped me out though. They tried to give me some work where I wouldn't really get too dirty. Yeah. But it was good for my mental health and just being out there and seeing other students basically like get out there and volunteer. I know like Ben Johnson has a lot of volunteer options. If you want to talk about those,
mainly, and so this is we're getting to. In the spring of the year, right? And so we really need volunteers that can work with us and help us in the garden. And like Coree said, it's for me, it's actually my favorite part of the BDJ. I love my hands in the dirt. I do. And I love seeing things grow. And I think
next time I'll change my outfit.
Yeah, change your outfit. But just in terms of that, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm thinking about your hands in the dirt and watching something grow. And that's kind of what we do at the Ben Johnson Educational Center. We put our hands on you and help you and find out meet you where you are and help you grow. And so the Legacy Garden is just, an example of that, what we do. But back to how you can volunteer with us is that we have volunteer hours. You could call the center or you could email us at bdjcenter.org or call us at 318-460-7460. But there's a volunteer page that you could sign up with us. And we definitely need volunteers in the garden, as well as we have a pantry, a clothing pantry, and we're always looking for volunteers to help us to sort.
Not only talking about volunteers, but what are some of the programs that the Ben Johnson Educational Center kind of puts on? I know we do 3, and speaking in I work at the BDJ, and I love working with Claire and just interacting and seeing all the people that come in the door wanting to receive help and wanting to help the center.
Yes, and we're glad you're there. So the programs that we have is a work readiness program where we are trying to remove the barriers that would prevent people from gainful employment. And those classes are every 4 to 6 weeks, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 12. We also have the IRT program, which is industrial readiness program. It's a 4-week industrial readiness. You'd get a certificate. And those certificates would be in NCCER, construction, forklift operation, OSHA 10, and Lean Six Sigma. So light construction type work. And we also have a HICEP class, which we just started one on Monday. But the HICEP class, some people may know that as a GED class. So we offer that as well. And you can also get a ServSafe food handler's certificate. That allows you to work in the food industry.
All right, thank you. We're nearing the end. Are there any upcoming events that are coming up that you need student participation or just want to shout out?
Well, the garden. We need people in the garden. And do we have any other events coming up, Ev?
No, not really. IRT,
let's see. Let's put him on the spot.
Yeah.
Let's see if you're paying attention at work.
He's marketing.
IRT, industrial readiness training. That starts March 11th. You just stay intact with the Instagram and Facebook and other social media platforms. But if you want to do your part and assist and help the Ben Johnson Educational Center, like and share and help us promote our mission and our vision and the work that we want to do. So
Yes.
Okay. Well, before we end our podcast, we like to do an inspirational quote. And so the inspirational quote we have this time is, "An idle mind is a playground for poor decisions and costly mistakes," by Ben D. Johnson.
Yes.
And do you want to talk about that and elaborate in a sense what that really means?
Yes. An idle mind. I mean, think about if you are just at home doing nothing, just at home looking at Facebook, and you are not doing anything. It's just, an idle place. You could be at the Ben Johnson Educational Center earning certifications and changing our mission is transforming lives and building this community. So you could be doing that.
And as I was reading that quote too, it kind of came to me in the sense of, I catch myself like so many times just laying in my bed when it's like 3 p.m. And like I know I should be getting up, doing something. And I catch myself, sometimes I do jump out the bed when I catch myself. Sometimes I say, I deserve this little break. But I think as college students and as younger people, it is time for us to we need to catch ourselves in those moments where we're just not doing anything. And actually the days are going by, we're not getting any younger.
Right.
So, it's time to just get up, go help in the community, go do some mental health exercises, or, go make somebody else smile, go do something for somebody else.
Yes.
So I really love that quote.
Yes, me too.
Yes, indeed. Okay, stay tuned for more next month. Again, my name is Eb.
My name is Corey.
Thank you for tuning in to Burning Conversations, where we keep the flame alive.